So, since I'm still trying to get the YouTube channel thing off the ground, I am compelled to do a reaction to the DC Fandome, which I only watched the first hour of before moving on to other things, and then I came back just in time for the Batman. But I watched all the trailers that then were released individually in little YouTube things. So I'll say, I'll talk about uh, what I saw. I'll talk about the Batman thing first. Um, I'm one of the perhaps too many of whom Batman is my favorite superhero. It was more out of an affection for bats than any real knowledge of the lore. He had a cape that looked like a bat, and his cowl. I didn't know it was called a cowl. I don't know what I referred to it as mask back when I was a kid, but he looked like a bat. And there was the Adam West show on, was it Nick at Night or whatever we were watching as kids, and so I latched on to that. And I have enjoyed Batman's. I think throughout the years, I think Ben Affleck is my favorite Batman, and that my favorite Batman movie is Batman Returns, uh, and uh, and I've got all of them. And I love Arnold Schwarzenegger in anything, and I think he's a great Mr. Freeze, even if his movie isn't necessarily the best movie. Um, so the Robert Pattinson Batman, I'm not that precious about Batman. They could do anything. I will consume it to as a completist. I won't be offended if it's. I have no expectations. I haven't read very many of the comics. I have no expectations, so I also don't have particularly strong feelings one way or the other about the trailer. It looked good. Um, I like Zoe Kravitz, so I like her as Selena Kyle. I like that they're not doing a lot with the Riddler, which suggests that there is a lot that they could be doing with the Riddler, and it will and that's Paul Dano, so that will be revealed in the movie, which will be more fun for not having been in the trailer. I guess that Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin, and I don't like that, even though I like Colin Farrell, because it's. I think I've said stuff like this before. There are actors in Hollywood and on Broadway and wherever who actually look the way that they used all of those prosthetics to make Colin Farrell look, and those actors are not getting the same kind of handsome guy roles that Colin Farrell gets. So I don't feel like he should be getting the bald, overweight guy roles that they have to put a ton of prosthetics on him in order to get. I'm sure he will be great, and I'm sure that I will be amused, but I will be thinking the whole time, Christian Bale shouldn't have played Dick Cheney. And I will be thinking the whole time, Christian Bale shouldn't have played that character in American Hustle. It's a lot of Christian Bale playing that kind of thing, but that bothers me. Robert Pattinson, I guess they're going with not quite Batman Begins Christian Bale Batman, but Christian Bale fine for Batman. But again, those other guys that look like Colin Farrell does playing the Penguin, they're not going to get the offer to play Batman, whereas Colin Farrell conceivably might have at one time. It seems like they're doing if Christian Bale had become Batman and then had growing pains as Batman instead of becoming right away an ace crime fighter. So that should be interesting, a different take. And this is kind of like when Batman v Superman came out, and people were saying they haven't earned it by having a Batman series and a whole Superman series leading up to them fighting. I credit, and this, we'll get to this when I'm talking about the Flash. I credit the whole Batman saga to Batman v Superman and Superman as well. So all of the Christopher Reeve Supermans led up to Batman v Superman, and all of the Christian Bale and Michael Keaton Batmans led up to Batman v Superman. And so this movie, whatever they're doing with Robert Pattinson's Batman, will fit somewhere in there in the continuity, and it doesn't have to have the origin, and it doesn't have to lead to anything in particular for me to appreciate it. And I like Zoe Kravitz, and I like the character of Catwoman. And I don't know that she will be able to upstage Anne Hathaway, who was my favorite Catwoman, but perhaps she will. And yeah, so that'll be good. So getting along to that, all the Christopher Reeve and Michael Keaton and Christian Bale's The Flash movie seems to be a Michael Keaton Batman movie from the advertisement that they showed, which is interesting. I guess we're seeing some multiverse stuff in Marvel with the Spider-Man movie that's going to be coming out, and it's going to have the Spider-Man 2 Spider-Man characters, I guess Tobey Maguire and Doc Ock, maybe some others characters from that. So I'm excited by that, and I guess I'm interested to see, the Ezra Miller is my introduction to The Flash. He is my Flash. I've only watched those episodes of the television show The Flash that features Supergirl, and I'll get to Supergirl. But it seems like in order to make a Flash movie, they had to make it a old-timey Batman movie, and not old-timey as in Buster Keaton, but bringing back a lot of people's favorite Batman, and not too shabby a Batman, if I do say so. Although, again, Ben Affleck is my Batman. So I look forward to seeing if there is more Flash stuff, and I guess it's a Flash-centric, it's the sort of story that has to be a Flash story, but it will heavily feature Batman. So there's that. It looks fun. I guess it's going to have Supergirl. That's not the Supergirl that I was going to get back to, but introducing a new Supergirl as the current Supergirl, Melissa Benoist, hangs up the cape, which I will get to. They showed some, not really a trailer from Aquaman, the second Aquaman, but Aquaman is a superhero tailor-made for me, and I thought the first movie was okay, but not I've got to buy the DVD okay. And remember, I have the DVD of Wonder Woman 1984. And I guess somewhere off camera or off out of frame, they while I wasn't watching, they confirmed that Wonder Woman 3 would happen with Patty Jenkins, and I had already assumed that was going to happen. But similar to how Aquaman, he's a tailor-made for me superhero because he's water-based, and at least this new version has long hair and long beard. And he's, again, water-based, spends a lot of time in the water. I love the water. And so less from the behind-the-scenes footage that they showed, and more from the what I've heard about it, and also I generally like sequels more than origin stories. There's more room for exploration of lore and all that. I am excited for Aquaman 2, but again, not based really on the behind-the-scenes footage that I saw. I didn't see anything other than everybody saying this is going to be great that felt like it was leading to that. And similarly with Shazam 2, I liked Shazam more than I liked Aquaman. But just it was behind the scenes stuff. But I know absolutely nothing about Shazam other than that first movie, and it seems like Helen Mirren, I guess, and Lucy Liu are going to play godlike characters, even though, as the malevolent supernatural force I live with pointed out, Circe is not a god. Circe is a witch. But she's not in charge of Warner Brothers or DC. And maybe in the DC universe, Circe is a god. It's the DC universe, not Greek mythology, not the Odyssey. But I'm sure I will enjoy it. And Black Adam it particularly interested me only because I love a passion project. And apparently this is The Rock's passion project among, of course he could play whatever superhero he wanted. He could play Batman, he could play Superman, he could play the Flash, maybe not the Flash, got to be smaller to play the Flash, and maybe not Spider-Man, but maybe he could play those. But apparently I don't know if he loved the character as a kid, reading comics as a kid, and he has wanted to play Black Adam, and who knows if there would be, I know absolutely nothing about Black Adam other than I watched that minute and a half of footage from, I guess, early on in the movie, and seeing him as Black Adam. That's all I know about Black Adam. And that's not necessarily a measure of whether or not these movies would be made, but who knows, would there be a Black Adam movie if The Rock were not the one who was going to play him. Maybe, maybe not. I have no idea. But I love a passion project. I love and I always wanted to do this. Now I'm getting to. They don't always work really well, but I love the idea of people getting to do what they've always wanted to do. Imagine someone like me loving the idea of creative people getting to do what they always wanted to do. So I am looking forward to that more than, I guess, any of these other movies that I've been talking about. Although they all look like they will be great. But what's her name? Supergirl, I already love. And their portion of the DC Fandome was a saying goodbye panel, like a retrospective. And I remember when Supergirl, it debuted on CBS and then moved to the CW with all the other DC shows. But the fact that it debuted on CBS and therefore was advertised on, maybe, I think it was Colbert at the time, and whatever else I was watching on CBS. I was still watching TV back then. I got to get back to that. But so it debuted and it was advertised there, and so I started watching it because I was curious. And I remember thinking, this is how people felt when they first watched the Christopher Reeve Superman, because this was amidst kind of darker tone DC movies and Marvel movies and superhero darker tone in general. And here's this bright and plucky and happy and slightly clumsy red, yellow, and blue super person who made me feel good, and I could root for her, and I wasn't necessarily conflicted about rooting for her, and I mean also the still then novelty of it being a female superhero didn't hurt. So I heard that it was going to be the final season of Supergirl. I heard that way back before they started filming it, and you know, it was at the same time as I thought, well, I hope that she got what was her due, as far as like they're not canceling her show because she's a female superhero and they don't make money. I'm sure she did. I'm sure Melissa Benoist and those other actors want to do other things. She's been on Broadway a couple of times. Maybe I'll get to see her in a musical now. But it just also the sense of, oh, phew, it won't go on forever. They won't drive it into the ground until the franchise dies of overexposure. They're gonna do this 5th season. That'll be it. And it's something that I might conceivably collect on DVD one day, just to have as my collection, because it moved to CW and I didn't go with it because I'm not. You gotta make an effort to get to each of the stations, and it's not a huge effort, but if I'm already watching CBS, yeah. But I did, when they showed up on Netflix, I watched them all straight through, including the crossover events, and I don't remember any of the actors' names except Melissa Benoist, but I love the Jimmy Olsen photographer character, Mehcad Brooks. I remember that actor. This was my introduction to Martian Manhunter. I love him as a character. Nia Null, the Dreammaker, the first transgender superhero, I think, and not a character from the comic books. They created her for the show, which is a great debut. And I love Lena Luthor. And her dynamic with Kara Danvers. I always say I'm Kara Danvers over Carol Danvers, who is Captain Marvel, and very similar to Supergirl. But I think that Supergirl's name is not Kara Danvers in the comics, but I don't know the comics as well. Who else? There was one more I wanted to mention. Brainy, he's not it, but I liked the Lena Luthor Kara Danvers relationship. And in the first season, or maybe the first 2 seasons, Callista Flockhart, Ally McBeal, she's in it, and she's great. And John Cryer as Lex Luthor. I love John Cryer, and so to see him show up in that role, and he's in Superman 4, and I think plays Lex Luthor's nephew or something in Superman 4, so that's fun. So it was a great. I enjoyed saying goodbye to Supergirl with all of them. I will enjoy. Maybe I'll watch them on as they air on CW instead of waiting for them to pop up streaming. But probably not. So that's it for my DC Fandome reaction. I hope it was clickable and exactly the way that you felt, and whether or not it was, comments, impressions, things I missed would be appreciated. Let's look forward to this together. Yeah, that's no. I don't know how to sign off of YouTube videos. I'm sorry.